and the Colorado Bar Association and Mi Casa. So the program was launched by the USPTO in late 2011, 2012, and the purpose from the USPTO is our purpose is to connect low-income qualified inventors with patent lawyers who provide their legal services on a free or pro bono basis. And just general information about the program. The program does exist in all 50 states. There are now, I think, about 24 programs. We actually, Probo Pat runs the program for Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, New Mexico, and as of last August, Montana. So we kind of have the Rocky Mountain West. And so the way the program works is we have an online application. Well, you can access the application online. It needs to be filled out. We ask some general information about you, about your financial situation, and I will go into that in a second. And then some just very general information about your invention. We ask for a title, and we ask just for a sentence or two. We don't want you, as Roger says, to disclose any information. We use that information, or I use that information about your invention when we're able to match you with counsel so the counsel can run a conflicts check. Yes?
Jennifer, would you mind for the people watching home if you started over about what pro bono is in Mi Casa? Just the last 2 minutes that you said?
Ooh, I don't know how far you go back to go. Do you want me to start all over again?
Not all over, but just back to what it is and then how to apply for it. You can go in. What's what you're about to go into, right?
Okay. ProboPat is a pro bono. ProboPat is an initiative of the United States Patent Office, the Colorado Bar Association, and Mi Casa Resource Center. And the purpose of ProboPat is to connect low-income inventors with patent lawyers who provide their services on a pro bono or free basis. And we have an application that you can access online well, I'll explain that later, but there's an application online, and the application asks for some general information about yourself, about your financial situation, which I'll go into shortly, and then a little information about your invention. And we utilize that information in order for when we match you with counsel to make sure that they don't have a conflict. Lawyers, when they get clients, need to make sure that if you have an invention and you've created a hammock, they need to make sure that they don't already have a client that has a hammock. And so that's generally what we use that information for. If you fill out your application, it turns out that you haven't disclosed enough information to me, I would come back to you and say, could you tell me a little bit more? What exactly is it about that hammock that you have improved upon? And then we try to match you with counsel who can help you. And that's generally how and so let's step back now to the financial piece. As part of the application, we ask you to submit your most recent tax year income tax return. And so right now we are accepting 2016 income tax returns. The reason we ask for that information is it allows us to verify the amount of dependents you have and what your adjusted gross income is. So the way that what we consider a low-income inventor is we utilize the Health and Human Services poverty guidelines. I did not bring those guidelines with me tonight, but for example, if you are a household of one, currently whatever that guideline is times 3 multiplies to about $36,180. So if you're a single inventor, we're going to look at your adjusted gross income and see if you're just at or below that amount. And then it goes up.
I have a question.
Sure.
Sorry, Cynthia. Jennifer, does that equal about $20 an hour?
I have no idea.
36,000?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have absolutely no idea.
I think it's about
I would suspect that it does not.
It's about 18 an hour. 18?
Yeah.
You just double your
And it goes up by the amount of people in your household, but if you have 2, it doesn't double. So I think 2 is about 56. You would think I have those numbers memorized, but I don't. I'm not a numbers person. So also when I give you how to find our information on the web, that information is there. And so we look at that information to make sure that you do qualify, that you qualify for pro bono help, that you are a low-income inventor. Qualifying for the program, once we have your information, does not take very long. Unfortunately, right now we have about, on average, a 4 to 6 month wait to be matched with counsel. We have a lot more demand for the program than we have lawyers being able to volunteer their time in the program. And then once you're in the program and we're able to match you with counsel, although I encourage all of our inventors to go to the Patent Trademark Resource Center at the Denver Public Library and get some assistance on running a patent search. If you've done some patent searching, I encourage you to take that to meet with the lawyer. They'll look over what you have. A lot of lawyers are going to go ahead and run some sort of patent search anyway, because they don't want to be in a position of advising you to file something maybe based on your research. And then once they have looked at your results, done a patent search, they can advise you whether it's even worth moving forward with a patent. They may see something in a patent search that will say, you know, this isn't worth your time and money to go ahead with this. And then they can assist, depending on where you are with your invention, in filing a provisional application, or if you're ready to move forward, to file the non-provisional application. The way the program works, for lack of a better way to describe it, it's sort of a little bit of a roulette wheel in terms of when you are referred to counsel, how far that engagement is going to go. So when you are matched with a lawyer, you'll enter into an engagement agreement with that law firm. Some of our law firms will end the engagement at the filing of the non-provisional application. And some of our law firms, if depending again who you're referred to, may say from the get-go they're going to help you all the way to the issuance of your patent. More than not, the law firms who are involved in the program do end the engagement at the filing of the non-provisional application. And then what we tell the inventors is, at the point that you get an office action, come back to us. We will try to rematch you with the counsel who helped you to begin with. If not, we will try to find someone else to help you. Again, it sort of depends on what's going on at the time. It's interesting for where we are in the program. We haven't kind of cycled through to a point where we have a lot of inventors coming back with those office actions, so it will be interesting at the point that we do how that works. So that essentially is the nuts and bolts of the practice of the program. It enables you to get this free, essentially legal help for patent searches and the filing of applications, and hopefully eventually with responding to office actions. And so all of the legal fees are free. You are responsible for all the USPTO fees. So if you file a provisional application, the $65 for that, the $400, whatever it works out to be for your non-provisional. And then if through the process, so sometimes I have inventors who don't come to the program until they have an office action. And I had someone recently from Montana came into the program. I said, as soon as you get that office action, let me know so that I can finish. I'm going to finish this thought and then I'll answer your question. So that I can match you with someone. He waited until about 4 weeks before his office at his first 3-month period was about to run, and we just advised him we would match him with someone, but now he was also going to be responsible for any extension fees. So the lawyers will not pay any of the fees. Some of the lawyers ask for that $400 right off the bat. Some will wait and get a credit card as they're waiting to file your non-provisional application. Again, once we make the referral, the relationship is between you and counsel, not between you and ProboPat. Do you have a question?
What is an office action?
An office action is once your patent application has been reviewed by an examiner at the USPTO and they have comments or changes that they'd like you to make to your patent application, so for your eventual patent, it is sent to you in a document that's called an office action, and it lays out in that document how much time you have to respond. Generally, depending on the office action, you have about 3 months, but that can be extended, and some of the lawyers in the room can probably speak better to how that process works. So that explains ProboPat in a nutshell. The program has been running in Colorado since 12, and to date we have 8 inventors who have received their patents working with counsel through ProboPat. And that's kind of ProboPat. Now, ProboPat sits in Mi Casa Resource Center's small business SBA Women's Business Center. And there are a lot of great synergies there because at ProboPat, we truly believe that in order to be successful with your patent, you need to have a business surrounding your invention. And so we highly encourage inventors in the program, or anybody in the room, even if you are not, eligible to participate in ProboPat, to come to Mi Casa. And I have a bunch of flyers in the back. So we, although it is a women's business center, it is open to anyone. And we offer a lot of business support classes. And we have a couple things that we do. We have consulting services for small businesses, and those services are free, and you can come as often as you want. They're 30 or an hour long appointment to work with one of our business consultants in the Women's Business Center. Startup assistance, writing a business plan, helping you find some financing. There are a lot of different things that our business consultants can help you with. And if you're interested, there are flyers in the back. Mi Casa also, in conjunction with the Hispanic Bar Association, runs a free business legal night 6 times a year, every other month. Our next one is on Tuesday, June 13th. And you can make an appointment for a free 30-minute appointment with a lawyer. When you register, you can say, I have a question about patents, or I have a question about trademarks, or I have a question about a contract, or any kind of general business issue. Not real estate, but otherwise business issues. And you will be having a 30-minute appointment with someone who can help you. And in terms of patent work, it's really more just general questions, because they don't have time to review a patent search but if you were getting started and had some general questions, they can answer those. We also
Some of the people watching want to see the flyers.
Okay.
There it is.
All right. And that would be the Considering a Business flyer, of which we have one coming up on May 23rd. And that's a 3-hour class just on the nuts and bolts of starting a business to help people kind of understand what they're getting into. We also have longer classes that are 13 to 15 weeks on business success, dream builder, and those are once a week for that period of time, and eventually you will write a business plan and learn about all these other issues affecting small businesses, so that as you start your business, you will have an idea of what you're doing. So those are some of the services that are offered at Mi Casa that are available to anyone. But we, again, as I said, we really strongly believe, because I do hear from a lot of inventors who are positive that someone's going to quickly swoop in and license their invention or pay them a whole lot of money for their invention. And I think we all know that isn't exactly the way it works. And even if you do in fact want to license your invention, license your patent, or sell it, you need to have a plan. You need to know who's out there, what's the market for this, who might be interested in actually buying or licensing this patent. So we try to offer those services as well, so that an inventor is realistic about, moving forward. So, and that's ProboPat. Yes, Roger.
You just get one free patent, or do you get, how many can you get?
Well, under the USPTO, so our program for this 5-state region is called ProboPat, which is just an acronym for Pro Bono Patent. All 23 programs are named something different. That's what our program is. Under the USPTO Pro Bono Patent Initiative, you can get up to 4 patent registrations. But under our, pardon? It's very parallel with the micro entity, yeah. So, and also I kind of left that out, but with the fee base, if you qualify for the pro bono program, you're qualifying for micro entity status. But that raises a good point, Roger, because of, and I just spoke to an inventor about this today, because of the high demand for the program and the wait list that we have, what we've established is sort of a 1 patent at a time rule. So if you were to come into the program, we refer you to counsel. You go to counsel, and they file a provisional application for you. You aren't really, in our mind, finished the process until that non-provisional is filed for you. So what I tell inventors is, you can file, I have an inventor right now, a young man, who has 3 applications on file with us. So 1, he's been working with counsel for about 18 months. And I think he probably this summer will be filing his non-provisional application. Once that non-provisional application is filed, I will put him in line to be referred again. But we have so much demand for the program that we decided that, at least in terms of ProboPat, it was 1 at a time. So once his non-provisional is filed, and if I say to him, hey, do you want to, be referred again, we will put him in line to get him referred for his next invention. So, but generally overall, it's 4. It's the microentity status rule. So. Yeah. That's it. Yes.
I've got a question. If the person that got help, their patent makes millions of dollars, are they required to donate back to ProboPat?
No, it would be nice if they would. I'm having a funding crisis, so yeah, no, it would be nice. No, yeah. We are a nonprofit, and yeah.
I think that's
So, yeah, but there is no requirement. But thank you. So.
Are most of the attorneys here in Denver area?
Yes, in fact, actually here and in Salt Lake, although we have the 5-state region, I always tell my inventors in Wyoming, Montana, and New Mexico that they will be referred to counsel in Colorado and Utah, because we have no patent lawyers in those states volunteering in the program. So you could be in Colorado and be referred to counsel in Utah. We're trying to keep our Utah volunteers busy with Utah inventors, but we have a lot more inventors in Colorado than we do in Utah. So it is possible that when you come to the top of the list and it's time to refer you, if my next available lawyer is in Utah, that's who you'd be referred to. And when I started doing this, I was concerned that wasn't very efficient or wasn't the best thing, but the patent lawyers who sit on my steering committee explained to me that patent lawyers are used to working with clients long distance, by Skype, by email, whatever, and I have not heard any complaint from my Colorado or Utah inventors or from other states who have been referred cross cross borders, it always seems to work, so,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, so again, it just is merely a matter of available counsel at the time that somebody comes up to the top of the list. And we do try our best to sort of work on a first come, first served basis, but sometimes depending on, I might send something out for a referral and a conflict search, and someone will come back and say, we can't take that invention, and so then the next person is gonna jump up in line, so, yeah.
If you signed up for the program and submitted your 2 lines about what your invention was, and then you didn't hear back from you for 6 months, which might be normal.
That would not happen. The application process, you will most likely, unless I'm on vacation, which that happens.
No,
Oh.
okay, so no, my question is, so let's say I did it, I submitted it, and then 6 months later, you say, okay, you're accepted into it, but then I say, that was 6 months ago, I already did something with that patent, I have another one though.
And then what I would say to you is, and what I have somebody like that right now, who said to me, I've changed my mind. And I would say, great, you're in line, but I need to know what that new. So, yeah, so let's say because at the time you come to the top of the list, you are not going to know you're at the top of the list. Because since I'm not sure that on what day I'm going to be able to match you, or if this lawyer is going to be able to take you, you don't know until I've made the match. So it's an interesting question because if probably a lot of, although I do when I talk to inventors explain, this is why we need this information, but if you went to counsel and said, oh, I'm not making a hammock, I'm making a lawnmower, they would do one of two things. They would either send you back to me, or they would call me and go, Bill's got a lawnmower, he doesn't have a hammock. And I'd go, well, can you run a conflict search on a lawnmower? And then they would run the conflict search. If they could take you, most likely they would take you. If they already represent, John Deere, they might not take you, because they might have a conflict. Yeah, but yeah. So more often than what I have is inventors who call kind of in the middle of the process and say, I've changed my mind about, what my invention is. And I'm like, fine, just let me know, so that we don't conflict search the wrong invention. So, yeah.
How do you match technical specialty with product?
We don't at all.
You don't?
No.
I mean,
In the 2 years, for one, most of our stuff is sort of general mechanical kind of inventions.
It's not gonna be some specialized niche chemical.
No, not at all. We don't take corporations. We don't, you have to be just individuals. We don't see at these income levels really people doing highly technical things. I've only, in the 2 years I've done this, I've only had one lawyer say to me, we referred something and she said, the science, and it was either an electrical or chemical thing and invention, and the lawyer called me and said, not in my skill set. Whether it was really not in her skill set or she wasn't willing to do it, I don't know. But we took that inventor and reassigned that inventor. So, I mean, a lot of people, and when lawyers first volunteer in the program, they say, well, I do blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, you're not probably going to see that. And because there are a lot of more, I mean, we have had a couple people apply with apps, but to be honest with you, they don't really necessarily have the technical expertise. They haven't been things that somebody really, they have an idea in their head, but they don't know how to implement it. So they're only getting so far with that.
Still patent on your idea. But if someone's in the program and I have an idea, or they have an idea, and the patent attorney goes, no, I don't think this is patentable.
Mm-hmm.
So as the inventor, what do? I still let.
I mean, that's for you guys to answer. I mean, you know, if it's not, we don't get, I mean, we really at a nuts and bolts level are a referral service. So if,
If the inventor's like, I really think this is good, and the patent attorney said, I don't think so. I guess,
I haven't had someone come back and say, I didn't like the opinion that attorney gave me, and maybe that might be because of the sophistication level of I mean, I have a wide range of sophistication levels, a broad swath. I've never, and I think, from what I can tell, most of these lawyers are, they're honest with their clients, but if they think that their client has a chance, nobody wants to waste anybody's time. But did I have somebody come back to me and go, I mean, if I had somebody, to be honest with you, if somebody came back and goes, I don't like that lawyer's opinion, I'm going to say, well, it's interesting, Roger, because I haven't, maybe when I cross that bridge, we will see what happens, but that's never happened. And I guess that does happen. I mean, people can shop patent opinions, I guess, but it's not something that I've had to deal with. So, yeah. Would we bring them back and refer them to someone else? Since I've never had to deal with that, I'd probably go to the bar steering committee and go, how do you want to handle this? I think, I mean, I understand that in lots of legal matters, you can shop an opinion. Well, and within the program, if we were to refer you to someone and you were to decide, I mean, and I've had this happen several times, we send an inventor to an attorney and the inventor doesn't think that they are going to mesh with that. There's a personality. I mean, the documents that the application says if your first referral does not work, we will make a second referral. And in the 2 cases where I've had to do that, the second referral didn't work either. So, for the most part, the lawyers who are volunteering in this program, it's why we have a laundry list of people waiting to be referred, because we just don't have enough lawyers. The lawyers who are volunteering in the program are really committed to the program, really committed to helping these inventors succeed in terms of their patents. So, for the most part, but if I have an inventor tell me they don't want to go downtown, I'm hard pressed to find them someone to work with. So.
Patent office here, I mean, there's a lot of resource there, they can do their own patent. There's a lot of things to help them.
There are, and I often tell inventors who either don't want to wait on the waiting list or don't qualify that I direct them to the pro se assistance resources that the USPTO has. But at the end of the day, it's a fairly complicated process for most people. And if they are successful on the first part and getting their application filed, where we will see people is office actions are tough to respond to for most people. So, I mean, in order to really probably get the best patent you can get, I think doing it yourself. I've never done it. I was a trademark paralegal before I did this. So those I know how to get for you. So, yes?
How many patent attorneys are in the program?
Right now, we have, I think the last time I counted for USPTO metrics, we have about 62. So, and, I can have the gamut of someone who is willing as soon as, like a month or 2 after they finish with one person's non-provisional, they'll take someone else. And I have somebody in the program who's been working on a patent and the patent application process with an inventor since sometime in 2014. And she's just decided she's not going to take another inventor till she finishes her first inventor. So I tell my patent lawyers, we will meet you however you want to give us time. We're happy to accommodate that. So, so between the 2 states, we have about 62 lawyers. So, not enough, but not everybody's willing to, to volunteer in that way, so. All right, well, thank you. If you are interested, in the back of the room, I have these lovely green and purple postcards, which have all the information about how to find us online. So, thank you.
Thank you.